In communication, connectivity is everything. We ensure that the links never sleep. Quantities and qualities, all in our data service, providing efficient, reliable voice and data service. We believe if you're not up to speed, then you're going backwards. Communications have to flow as fast as the speed of light. Whatever business you're in, having someone who understands your needs is critical. That is why we just don't offer you technology, we offer you solutions. Enjoy Gamcel's internet broadband anytime, anywhere. Your national operator, Gamcel, Yaibaram.
All right.
Honey, did you remind him that the last time he sent the money, it was not enough to buy all the provisions?
Oh, sorry, I forgot to tell him.
Are you guys talking about money transfer to buy provisions?
Yes.
But don't you know about Baluwo?
Baluwo? What is Baluwo?
Baluwo is a service that your son can use to send provisions directly to you guys from the shop. And you don't have to worry about the exchange rate.
Tell me how Baluwo works.
It's very simple.
Just log on to baluwo.com and shop, or download the app on your phone. You can shop on the website or using the app to buy online basic products for your family and friends. With Baluwo, you decide what your money is spent on. Your money, your choice. Buy online products for your family and friends in the Gambia, Senegal, Nigeria or Mali. Baluwo, better than sending money.
Are you thinking of owning your dream homes? EJ Investment is here for you. Secure our quality bungalows with 2, 3 or 4 bedrooms, or our story buildings 3 or 4 to 5 bedrooms at very affordable prices with flexible payment plans at our Sanyang Seaview Estate, where you can enjoy the cool breeze with modern infrastructure such as tar roads, covered drainage system, modern electrification with street lights, gated entrance with security posts, and social amenities such as gas station, shopping mall, medical clinic, park, schools, children daycare, and a lot more. Our dedicated team of professionals will keep the estate clean at all times, provide security and patrol team within the estate premises, install latest technologies such as CCTV, Wi-Fi, home network installation, solar panel, and power backup system. Also, check out for our additional home facilities and interior design service such as premium tiling, wall plaster, home landscape.
Welcome back, witnesses.
Sedol al bismillah.
Just before the break, we had discussed the incident of 14th and 15th December 2004.
Kachata kuola meni along wala kita December karo till tannin nani nanin till tannin lulu 2004,
which led to the mass arrest and subsequent torture of members of the Jambanjeli community.
Menata na sababu mutarola me alon ko jama ba wala kita Jambanjeli banku sate molla anin ke sinda ke tajriya ke sindidula killing.
Each of you have given us your experiences of that particular incident.
Altol do nya ko mo kilin na ko men late kan ya satale ko late kan nyame.
To the point when you were taken to the PIU headquarters.
Before
the break, you told us that you were kept in the open at the PIU headquarters. Can you tell us, Mr. Samba, what happened when you arrived at the PIU headquarters?
Silang Mr. Samba faisa fono nyamuna keda birini furata ye furandi para la kordabato.
Yes.
Kabirum furata para la kordato.
When we reached the paramilitary's compound, we were made to come down from the truck.
Paral nata iko kunung minul nata nge butele fonsal tol fanam bute.
And that's the time when the paramilitary came. They said the ones who were brought the day before were beaten. So you also who came today, we are going to beat you.
So yen tol minul nata kutake randi.
So that's how they made us stand in a line. And they started beating us
Anila o pipe fingol.
With their black pipes.
So wokonolem musudobi je parale mati.
During that, there was a lady who is a paramilitary officer.
Very senior officer le mati nak.
And she happens to be a senior officer.
O nata akonyino leko albute rostop nga fale ne malafi ale mole pakotenke.
That's the time when she came and intervened and told the para officers to stop beating. And she went on to tell them that I told you that you should stop beating.
O atole biti yele parokuma bula.
That's the time when they stopped beating us.
You told us that you were beaten with a baton. Can you tell us where you were beaten on your body, that is?
It was on my back. We were all made to lie on our stomachs.
And this senior paramilitary officer, can you tell us her name, the one that stopped them from continuing with the beating?
Nyimpara military keba me alonko atela nata dabula ko nyingo na ko ya bula purika lipa. Fo isa to fo no nyela ba.
Ani ma to long.
No, I don't know her name.
Mandali paralla.
Because I'm not used to the paramilitary.
And
we didn't interact with them because we were all dumped at one place together.
Mr. Darboe, can you tell us the reception you received when you arrived at the paramilitary camp, whether it was the same as the rest of your community members?
Mr. Darboe, for ite for no nye birifu da ye fura di para lo korda bato gindiri nyame ye bismillah de gindiri nyame na for for no nye fani Mr. Sambata be kilindala ba.
When we arrived, they told us to come down. The moment you come down from the truck, they will tell you, go and join that group. So when we went, we were all made to sit down.
Were you beaten when you arrived at the PIU headquarters?
Ye lipa labang biri ni futata para la korda bar.
Ane malipa ha kabir na pabian kumanda ntenga lipa rosa tolta.
Well, I was beaten on the day that my dad called me.
Kabin pabian kumande. La tala nankola para kilien sabana entulo fada kwenye sije mantala.
When he called me, I got up to go and answer to him. But the moment I started moving, one para officer got hold of me, pulled me back, and gave me a slap, and told me, "You are not going anywhere. Sit down here." That's the only time I was beaten.
Para dobije ataka finti suto akata natata akadololo minna nana natuta.
And except one paramilitary officer, he goes out at night to go and drink alcohol. But whenever he is drunk and he comes back, and he has a song called Sarakulembeng Natale Balafabalo. That means Sarakulembeng has arrived, the thing which has no pity. He will go to the tap, put water in a bucket, and come and start throwing this water on us. And he will even take stones and stone us. In fact, one of the stones hit me on my leg, which later gave me problems. He did that for 3 nights. I think he was stopped, and after the 3rd night, he didn't do it again.
Mr. Bayo, since all of you were kept at the same place when they arrived,
Mr. Bayo tumalamena yaltol be muta dinkira kilingol to biringi yal futandije.
did you also experience this particular treatment from this PIU officer that Mr. Darboe is talking about?
Wait for nying alhala kilingo nying Mr. Darboe ka nying meng fotang nying para ya meng maranya meng wait for na maranya kilingo yemuda wala jeba.
Ka jio bondul bere kan bumbero la ende kungo sole bam.
Yes, he throws water on all of us. In fact, he broke my head. He wounded me on my head with a stone.
You got injured on your head from the stone he threw at you, correct?
Inatna barmoso ro ikungo anu sababu da menda wala obero nyindi ay mem fay kan.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you tell us the severity of the injury on your head?
Isa fono nyo barmo nying ay obero mem fay men narna sababu barmo ay barmoso ro ikungo ala bu waja bonyin kete be nyaadile.
Ka fole be siring aka bero fayna.
Mo waja bonyin. Barmo nyin na waja bombe nyaadi.
Be siring malla na fayna
mo kete nyaadile.
Barmo nying ala waja bo nya warata la bam fo barmandi wala.
Because I'm kun farajang.
Yeah, it was a big wound because it split my skin on my head.
Can you tell us the size of the stones that, just to get an idea of the size of the stones that he would throw into the crowd as you were seated there?
Foi sa fo na bero nyin jama kan bere sifa nyaadi le ta ka fayal kan al kanje nal be siring ala waro nyin be nyaadi le mesa malam wara malam kanyan dingolam.
Ate bulo benda bero bere fe aka mol bungala.
Well, he uses any stone that he can lay hands on.
Mr. Samba, were you affected by this stone throwing by this particular officer?
Mr. Samba, foi da fana nyim para nyim me alon ka atleka nyim bero nyim foi da fana yekole ya soto jele nyim bero nyim na fayo roba.
Bero yem male mambara mo soto jele bari bero yem male.
Yes, I was hit.
Sinya sabasi bero ka boyin kokan.
On 3 occasions, his stones lands on my back, although I didn't sustain any injury. But
my apologies. During those 3 nights that he consistently threw stones at you in the evenings and water, did any of the officers around stop him from doing it?
Wato men na be imbaro kala nyin sudo sabul be me berota anin jioda ka fayal kan fo adonyo sarawisi lal moso ndara me yalon ko aya bantambilita nyaaro bam pour ka balala pour akana o nyin keba.
Yes.
Antung senior officer lemu.
Because he's a senior officer.
Junior officers sol minul kataraje.
Junior officers who used to stay on guard.
Ika mutale ka fay ko kana oke.
They used to go and get hold of him and tell him, don't do this.
The third night from Janna Binara.
The third night before he came back.
Aka wo nejulol ning wo palatol ning bolol minul ta ake jiobila ye betale tata ye mabo.
The buckets and pans and bowls that he used to take to go and draw water from the tap to throw it on us were all collected and kept away from the place.
Avira nata dobe kono okai ko ye order dinale ko ikana nyinke koteke.
So when he came that night, there was somebody who approached him and told him that we have been given orders to tell you to stop what you usually do.
I stopped wole nyama.
That's how he stopped.
Can you recall the name of? You said he was a senior officer.
Iko nyingmare nyimukeba la molam ni sarawizu bundar.
Can you recall his name and his rank at that time?
Hakilo sa to mutano la bangana makamo member bulo watola.
Imanyina de sajinolem.
If I can remember, he happens to be a sergeant.
Jallo le ma to.
And
Sergeant Jallo.
They call him Sergeant Jallo.
Can you recall his first name?
To follow do ye hakilo sa mutano la bang?
No, man hakilo ma ko to follow.
No, I cannot remember his first name.
How about the rest? Can you recall his first name?
Do kotangol dum fo hakilo si tol mutano la bang?
No.
No, they don't know his name. They just know the surname Jallo, but they don't know the first name.
While this was ongoing, were you charged during this period for any particular offense?
Honey.
No.
You told us that you were kept in an open yard. Did you remain in that open yard throughout your detention at the PRU headquarters?
Fo al tuta wo dingira nyine do yalla mara dame do yalla to al ko jemu kono fan de kono nyim fan al tuta wolto ko maro kono je bang Allah maro be kono bang
wotili lulo be kan la dame katil nyang woletu.
Yes, for the duration of the 5 days we spent there. We spent the day at the same place and we spent the night at the same place where we were sitting outside.
Mr. Darboe, how about in the afternoon when the sun is really hot? Where were you made to sit?
Mr. Darboe, silandung tilibulo la teng ni tilo be kandiring. Ikal samba mindole kal sindi damendo.
Nkatara jele. Nkatara o tilo la kono je.
We stay under the sun.
Ato will be go mira ko nyimu hadama dungale ko nyanta tara dilalta dami dami be sumi ala domandi ko telephone be dami.
They don't even think. They don't think of taking us to a cold place. They don't mind about that.
You told us that your father, when you arrived at the PRU headquarters, you met your father in the veranda.
Iko brief da para la dingira do ye fama tara perongo do kotoje.
Te donna be ifeni ka kotoje jimbaunte je.
He was the only person who was allowed to sit with them under the veranda there.
Nakatu complain la anyunu bula nyunu mankuke. Mine kuke wal man tarajang.
And he is always complaining to them, release these people to go. They didn't do anything. The people who did something are not among these people, but they don't listen to him.
How about the other elders that were in the group?
Well, there were some people amongst us there.
That is, if you know, any one of you can answer it. Do you know who was commanding the PRU at that point when you were detained there?
Nyini karo fanori on pural to mo sabobe ni momo e jabiro so fo ali yala ne ban jumala be nun nyaton kaya ke kan ko paral la kordani kono je wo watola.
Yes.
Biran Juflem. Biran Bay.
His name is Biran Bay.
During your detention, did Biran Bay ever come see you?
Allah maro nyi wato nyi kono je sansan kono je para la korda kono je fo nyi Biran Bay nyi anana na ta je le kanal ku kumba boba
ala office nya tele ngola mbe wolto.
We were sitting right in front of his office.
Afuntita office kono ra nya katilin tollal.
The moment he steps out of his office, he stands facing us.
This question goes to Mr. Bayo.
Mr. Bayo le ya.
As at the time when you were being stomped on, water was poured on you and you were beaten. Was Mr. Miranbai present?
Water men na tarta ke lipa anu ye jikan ye nyinji su ji fananta ka so ikang. Fo ni Mr. Miranbai abe maberi ngela ba.
Yes, abe uje abara office.
Yes, he was inside his office.
Did he, at that point, do anything to stop his officers from maltreating you?
Ata Biran Bay, fo ay kusota la way menke ban kaje ko ala do kula ni memu nyim paral di pour ay bantambili nyaato ka fo ko nying albe mbaro men ala bula.
Ni agete na stop ta, but I won't stop.
Well, if he has intervened, it would have been stopped, but he didn't do anything.
Can you recall the names of any other officer that was involved in torturing you at the PRU headquarters?
Fo hakilo si para kilimuta to muta no jerba me ya lonko adabula ile tajire ya kono mem menkete la para lo korda baroje.
What on dolma la fika all long?
At that time we didn't want even to know them. We were not interested to know them.
So you were not able to recall any of their names?
Amunda hakilo mahani mo kilinto mutano.
No, because ndebe kambari naming kenna.
No, because I was angry about what happened to me.
But the boss Biran Bay ngolon.
But I know their boss Biran Bay.
Yes, Mr. Samba, you wanted to say something?
Mr. Samba, elafta fennefola.
Yes.
Yes.
The then IGP Tatin Baji addressed the gathering before the beating. But the beating started when he left.
Tatin Bayi, who was the then IGP, came and addressed us, but he left the place. After he left, that was the time when the beating started.
Kando atele ko altole kanna mol kelendi ibe jol altole ako
because
take the revenge.
Because what he said when he addressed us was, you are the people who decided to fight my officers. They will have revenge on you. Then he told them to take revenge. But it was when he left that was the time when the beating started.
And he was the IGP at that point.
Yes, he was the IG at that time.
And you were saying that he gave the order for you to be beaten at the PIU headquarters.
Yes.
Mr. Bayo, you mentioned that you were tortured for 3 days.
Mr. Bayo, ya fo janko ye bude ye lipa membira fo tilisaba.
From the narrative from the rest of your colleagues, they were only tortured once when they arrived at the PIU headquarters. Can you please explain to the Commission why you said you were tortured for about 3 days?
Yes, because Kabiri muta first day.
Yes, because when we were arrested on the first day, we were beaten all the way until we reached the camp.
And we
were beaten the second day.
The third day,
the third day was the day my head was split. So that's why I said I was beaten for 3 days.
Thank you for that clarification. Can you tell us if during all these ordeals, some of the minors were still within your mess at that PIU?
Aninka bi foisa fono nye wato membela nyunkobe tamakan ikang nyindindinda mol me yalon ko ali ye fo janko e fana ye mutale fo e fana bal kono jele ban kafo kono je.
Yes, the minors were amongst us.
Can you roughly tell us how many minors were detained with you at the PIU? That is, if any of you know.
Altol mo be kono ñinin kar kono fanu rengol de altol be kono je fo alsa lonno le bang dindina mo jelle bal feje nu maro kono je wato men albe je mo lulu si
le mo 5 sile.
There were about 5 of them.
And all these 5 individuals were subjected to the same ordeal as you were while you were at the PIU.
Andung amundala ko ñindinda mo ñim fanan Mr.
Bayo, you can answer the question.
Mr. Bayo.
These people don't leave anybody.
Thank you very much. Mr. Darboe, can you tell us for how many days you were detained at the PIU? That is the entire group.
Mr. Darboe, for example, what is jellem? I what jelles either the Morocco no je, warandu lunjellem either the Morocco no je, o kafoni kono je.
5 days at the PIU.
We spent 5 days at the PIU.
6 days in Jangole in Samba Yamurundi Brikama.
It was on the 6th day that we were taken back to Brikama and they said we were going to face a trial. We were taken to the court and we were sitting down there. Up to some time, they told us to come out again and board a truck. So when we were being taken out, we were informed that they got orders that they were going to take us to mile 2, where we were going to sit down and wait until they sort out whatever is going to happen.
Mr. Bayo, can you please tell us if when you arrived at the court you were taken before a magistrate?
Mr. Bayo, haninka before isa fono nye wato mena yalsamba kiti bundaro. Fo yalsamba kiti tela dole nyato, kiti tela nyati ngola bang.
When we arrived, there was a magistrate. He called our names. When they were ready with that, they said we are going to be remanded.
So it was the magistrate that remanded you to Mile 2 prisons?
Amunda magistrate wani wale kangodi bata yamaro di puru yal samba kasibungoro.
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Samba, can you tell us if prior to you being taken to the magistrate court, were any of your statements obtained by the PIU officers?
Mr. Samba, for isa for no nyahanin kabi janning ibal samba la kiti bundaro. For wato men albe Morocco no para la dingira nyindoje. For wati soran dala bang wato men na yesindi kela kuma kamuta ya safe.
Yes.
A day before mbita tenen lungo len tata court. Dimasi lungo yenna statement star.
We were taken to court on Monday, so before that Monday, on Sunday, they took our statements.
While taking your statement, did they charge you for any particular offense?
Wato men na bela kuma ka onyin tala ka safe. Fo tumir soton dala bang yemen de ikan da ka fo ko yenyi luwa tinya bunda karle tinya ngole lekan.
Honey, iman charge.
No, we were not charged.
You were not. Was any document read to you stating that you are charged under this particular section of the laws of the Gambia?
Fo kaiti soton dala ba me yalon ko ya kareye ka fo ko yenyi luwa bunda le tinya me yalon ko Gambia banko kan luwa le nyinti yewle nyi bunda le tinya fo ye soton dala ba.
Individually de imo ke bar kabirim fota da courthouse magistrate kabira en names ñul be read anata fole ko altole balanta ali rayotin ke jamanjeli kono.
What happened, they didn't do that individually. But when we went to the courthouse, after they read out our names, the magistrates addressed us saying that you are the people in Jambanjeli who decided to resist to the police who came there.
Otola ko yang remind.
That was the time when he said that we should be taken to the remand.
Mr. Bayo, how about the 5 minors that were with you? Were they also charged along with the rest of you?
Mr. Bayo, hanin kabi nyindinda mol me alon ko e bal fedum fol fanan keta mol der me alon ko ye tumiro de ikan oda ban ko ya yemen ka yalta ke nyamemba.
Yes.
Yes.
The minors were charged with you, that's what you're saying?
Mun dayre kam mem fo wala nyindu ko nyindinda mol ni wol fanan keta mol der me alon ko ye tumiro de ikan ola ko ye tumi nyame.
Ye charge ye sama Joshua.
They were charged and taken to Joshua.
We received another statement from one of the minors who's by the name Lamin Kamara.
Nga kuma kan safere ngo soto mo dindinda mo kilimbulu jang ika of me Lamin Kamara.
Lamin in his statement stated that
Lamin ala kuma kan safere ngo do aya infoje ko
on the 6th day
ko nyin tilworo njango
some of the students were released. And the rest of the adults were charged and taken to Mile 2 prisons. Was that the case?
Lumine ndol bela Mile 2 de niwo di niwo bele nata nyola. Itate kamana Joshua ne samana.
The day we were released from Mile 2, they went and collected these minors from the Josuang prison and brought.
So you were saying that some of the minors were also taken to the court with you when you were being charged?
Amunda ikamem fo ila kuma kaunto wala mnyindi ko nyindindinda mol nyimfanan ket mu mollet men yalon ko e yetumiro de kaunto andu ye samba ye ni samba nyola le biri be samba la kiti bungoro.
We were
all there when they were taking us to Mile 2. That was the time when they were taken to Joshua.
Sorry, Mr. Darboe, as far as you can recall.
Mr. Darboe, come itala hakilo to isime mutano.
Were all of you charged before the magistrate court?
Fo ya tol be ye tumiro de al kango dala yal samba magistrate kiti bunda kilongol to ba.
Awo tumir kilongol yembe tumini ne la nga luati nyamina ka paral kelendi.
We were all charged with the same thing, that we are the people who fought the paramilitary officers.
And did you have access to a lawyer prior to you being taken before the magistrate court?
Janni bal sambala kiti bunda nyindo fo ale silo sura labam pour al ni lawyer nyoje bankali yamari.
Ani?
No.
What was the response of the members of the community to the charges levied against them?
Come again with the question.
What was the response of the members of the communities that were detained to the charges before the magistrate court?
Silang muta mol nying muna kete to la jabir dati tumiro la emelle mending ikauda tumala men itata kiti bundaro.
Ntolman fen soton be men jabila woto fu mol la kumbode kandun kabirin ako ebe sambala remind le dol bije woli kumbo kumasile.
Well, we had nothing to respond to them, because when they said that we were going to be taken to remand, some people started crying.
Andung akanyim min foko ye dol release le tonyale mu tenelungo somanda kabirin iben sambala court ye keba woro nyong release le anin dinding fula ye wol release le.
Well, what he said is that on Monday morning, about 2 minors plus 6 elderly people were released to go home on Monday.
Wokola lemu kabirim bota courthouse ye dindil lulu samba Joshua.
It was after that, when we left the courthouse, 5 of the minors were taken to Joshua.
Thank you very much, Mr. Samba, for that clarification.
Mr. Samba ila wasanendiroto.
Can you tell us what happened after you were remanded by the court at Mile 2 prisons?
Silam faisa fono nyahanin kabi mune natana ke biring kitio e kangodi puri ye samba kasoro yeta sije folo.
Yen samba le tata yen dundi remind.
We were taken and remanded.
Ngasuta kilineke remind.
We spent only 1 night in remand.
Wosamo
the following day,
inata yen samba 1-man cell.
And we were all taken to 1-man cells.
Ntolning Baba Job Nyol, aning Farafenya attackers, aning landing Sane Nyol, Ntolbelebe Dula killing.
Myself, ourselves, plus Baba Job, the attackers, those who attacked Farafenya, plus landing Sane, we were all at the same place.
When you said 1-man cell, did you mean the security wing of the Mile 2 Central Prison?
Security wing.
Rungmang Mile 2 bondi nyoto de baringalon neko. Momo, the size of the cell is about 1 meter.
I don't know the interior of Mile 2 much, but the cells that we were put in, I know the length and breadth of this cell will be around 1 meter.
And as a Keno security wing, te kantung ning security detainees lebije.
It could be the security wing, because we were there together with some security detainees.
Thank you very much.
Kante nyol.
People like Balo Kante.
And Baba Job nyol.
And Baba Job and
Lieutenant Landing Sane.
Lieutenant Landing Sane.
Ndala selo ni wole be naneri.
My cell is just next to the cell where Landing was.
And Baba Job was opposite me.
And Baba Job was opposite his cell.
So as a Keno Jelemu security wing.
It could be that place was the security wing.
Thank you very much, Mr. Samba.
Mr. Samba.
Mr. Bayo, you wanted to say something?
Mr. Bayo, kumala be buli lafta kamemba fobang.
No lafta jele bamban la security wing lem.
Yes, I wanted to emphasize that it was the confinement security wing.
So the magistrate asked that you be remanded at the remand wing of Mile 2 reasons.
Bare magistrate we kan mendi wala nyindi yal samba kal samba remand wala nyindi menula kuma kan ma diamo mambam folo ke mabo dami yal samba woro.
However, you were taken to the security wing instead.
Bare hanin kabi wonya kilo nyama narna ko nyim fali yal samba security wing.
Mr. Darboe, can you tell us, that is if you know, why you were taken to the security wing of Mile 2 instead of the remand wing?
Mr. Darboe, afanya banya rayalo dalilo me asabu yal samba security wing andu manke nyindi ya kito e kawmendi ya ko nyanal samba dami remand imal samba woro fo ini alo afanya.
Ani ma wolon ne wal butung kabin tol yen samba je ngasuta kilinke je.
Well, I don't know that reason, but when we were taken there, we spent one night there.
I also mo inatereki ko manyana tarajang nyanda tarajanal.
The following day when they came, they said we shouldn't have been there.
Security.
That was the time we were taken to the security wing.
Thank you very much, Mr. Darboe, for that explanation.
Mr. Darboe,
Mr. Bayo, can you tell us if any of the detainees suffered any injuries as a result of the previous tortures meted on them?
Mr. Bayo, faisa fono nye muta mol nying fo kole ya soto ndala baye ben soto ibala jato lubala tumalame ya lonko muta folo nyi wato mene tajiri al menkala kasuji ni wala foyo kole ila muto nyi wato kono foyo soto leba.
First of all, ntefango ekatula mula bambutula lalo.
First of all, with myself, they used to rub my body with shea butter.
Because ila live oni momo lepa wala ni memu bambutula la yelo betule balokon.
Because the instrument they used to beat us with, if you are not rubbed with shea butter, well, it will create problems for you because your body will remain swollen.
Yeah, okay. Every day.
Every day we have to rub each other with shea butter.
So you nursed your injuries in Mile 2?
Amuntal family ala dimingulu jara Mile 2.
No one.
Yeah, we have to do it ourselves because there was no one to help us.
Were you provided any medical assistance while you were at the PIU headquarters?
Even food, we have to buy it for ourselves. Much more medical, treatment for medical treatment.
And,
more 15 years palati fula samana wole malkana domoro.
Because 50 people, if you bring just 2 plates of food for them, that means that you are denying them food. So those who had some money on them, you have to send somebody to go and buy bread for you.
I don't go.
So in fact, there are some para officers there. If you send them, they'll tell you that no, they are not going.
So the food that they were giving you at the PIU headquarters was not sufficient for the large crowd that was there.
Domoro men dia la para lo korda baro je domor le me ya lonko mansi abuka si puru jamani membe.
Ndol momen baby to ndola food sotola no.
They cannot provide for all of us who were detained there.
Mr. Samba, would you like to say something about that particular point?
Mr. Samba, ila ftaka fenne jansa okuma kawo nyindo ba?
Yes. Because me, I had some money with me. Every morning I have to take out some money and give it to the para officers to go and buy food for me.
Nimminul biye ina kitanna bake because nkadomoro means ankatala mol beletem.
In fact, the food I buy is not only for me myself alone. We all used to have some part of that food. This is why a lot of us who were detained together, a lot of the detainees came closer to me.
And throughout your detention at the PIU headquarters, you told us that you were kept in the open area.
Ila mutaro nyi wato nyi mbego no para lo korda baro je ye mfonye ko itarta maro men kono wolen dingira me alongo dingira kono fanure ngola.
Throughout the day, both in the morning, afternoon, night, you were on one particular location in the open.
suto tili somanda ulara ikatara udingira o kono fanuru ngonyine to
nte damante den yen tol minul be diten tol bebe jurumuri nyokang dula kilenne tilo kanala e lonkan fa e boy suto sumya e lankan fo fanoyeke.
It was not only me, it was the whole of us who were detained. Daybreak, the sun will be on us from morning up to from dawn to dusk, and also at night the cold will come on us from dusk up to daybreak.
Mr. Bayo, can you tell us about the conditions at the Mile 2 Central Prison when you went there?
Yeah, Mr. Bayo, hanin kabi fo isa fo nanye Mile 2 kasi bungoro. Je al halo benu nyali la biri Samba ye.
Very bad.
Very, very bad.
Can you describe it to us just with few words?
Je al halo nyimbe nyame fo isa fatam fansi no nyelwa ni kuma dandan na ba.
Bumi alongo 1 meter. Ni la plywood ka yesingo tiling abuka tiling. Ni sita yesingo kete kumbalingo ka woloma.
A room which is almost about 1 meter.
Yes, in the 24 hours.
Length and breadth. You sit down in that room for 24 hours. If you want to stretch your
only
legs,
10
you
minutes
cannot.
You have rest to go out. 10 minutes and come back.
You have only 10 minutes breaks to go out and come back. You can't even stretch your legs inside those rooms.
Very bad.
Very bad.
And food also is bad.
And the food also is bad.
We have indeed received extensive testimony about the food that was served to inmates in Mile 2 prison.
Nga sedan jama bala soto wala karola do muro nyimme alon ko wala kadi ka molla me alon ko be mutarin kasoro je nga sedan jama bala soto wala ko ambe ya.
Mr. Darboe, can you tell us if you were ever taken to court while you were detained at Mile 2 Central Prison, apart from the first time that you were taken to court and remanded?
Mr. Darboe fo isa fo no nyahanin kabi ning abota lum folo nyimme alon fo yesamba kidi lar wato men na yesamba na remand fo lunna na soron dalaban ko ke murundi kidi lar ba.
Ani man na murundi je ko take.
No, we were not returned. We didn't go back to the courthouse.
Abe kabirum bota Mile 2 ye release wala nyam.
When we left Mile 2 was the time when we were all released.
While at Mile 2 prisons, did you have access to your families?
Wato men na be Morocco no Mile 2 fo e kasilo so laban pour ni la dimbale nyoje ba.
Ani mo ne man nan jibeje.
No, nobody ever came to visit me there.
How about you, Mr. Samba? Did anyone ever come see? Did they allow anyone to see you while at Mile 2 prison?
Mr. Samba ita be wato men be Morocco no je fo e silo di kasilo di laban pour ila dimba waranto ila mol kane kumpa boba.
Hani.
No.
And Mr. Bayo, did that apply to all of you that were detained at Mile 2 prisons for this particular incident?
Mr. Bayo fo nyin ko la nya kilmo lemba wala ketal bela bang waro men na be Mile 2 Morocco no je nyin ko kono ba.
The same thing.
The same thing.
For how long were you detained at Mile 2 Central Prison?
Alta itarta Morocco no Mile 2 fo wati jelu?
I think 27 days or 26 days.
Yes, it was
around.
Can
you tell us what eventually led to your release?
Silang fo isa fo no nye muna natana sababu fo inatana ibula.
Ntoli bijere ebika kuma fonna kodo mobika valbita kodle mobika vale inneke.
We were just remanded there. Nobody tells us anything. Nobody tells us that we are going out. Nobody gives us any information. We were just left there. Till one day, when we were there,
order from up,
when one of their senior officers came there and said, well, they have got word from the top,
Office of the President,
OP, saying that we should be released.
Sorry, the witness said order from up. Is that not what you said, Mr. Bayo?
Mr. Bayo, yes, that's what he said. They said information came from up saying that we should be released. When we were released and we went home, our relatives, wives, sisters, and mothers, They said they went to meet Yaya Jammeh at his Sifo farm.
Adani.
And they pleaded with him.
And
they told him that our sons, our husbands, our fathers are under custody. Then that's the time when he told them that they are lucky. They are lucky. Had you people not approached me in this manner, I was going to deal with them severely. They are the people who decided to fight my officers. He said they were lucky that it was the women who approached him. Had it been that he was approached by males, he was going to arrest all of them and take them to jail too. When we came home, that's the information our wives told us.
And when you said orders from up, what did you mean by that?
When I say up, that means Yaya Jammeh, because that's what happened.
This was after spending about 26 days in detention at the Mile 2 prison.
Amunda nyingi sorta wat me yalonko ye wat utili muang ani woro yo ke Morocco no kasoro.
Yes.
Mr. Samba, remember earlier in your testimony you told us that some people were injured when the soldiers fired warning shots on the ground.
Mr. Samba, hakilo murundi koma ye infonye nunkoma ntonuko wato men nanyi sojarol nata dingira nyinto je ye kido kumandeje kido fight manoka
modol baramataje.
Were those individuals arrested?
Fo mol fana menu baramataje wala fana keta mol de me yango ye mutalaba
lungo menne bembula le tate kamalo petano letu.
The day we were being released, they went to collect those people from the hospital. And we were all released together.
So those individuals were eventually given medical treatment at the hospital.
Yes.
Can you tell us the impact of this particular incident? You've been part of the VDC. Can you tell us the impact of this particular incident on the community of Jambanjeli?
Silang faisa fono nye nyinko nyimbe kiro kola ay mun kola yakulle sabuma kadu ite keta molti me yalonko e mum molti me yalonko alfala muidi kabo sate ola irwa kafo nyindo imu kaf me VDC ay mun kola yakulle sabuma
kola ya follow.
The first problem
lungo minna ye mol muta wo samo keta jele.
The first day that we were arrested, the following day somebody died there.
Kebal dammale tata je pour ka dinko sing imasin no fo parallem nata ke mako e kaburo sing.
Only elderly people went to the grave site to go and dig for the deceased's grave. They were even unable to dig properly. It was the para officers who came to help them to dig that grave. Because at that time, all the young men has left the village.
Ikadum korda to korda bung to bung ikadum bungol kono fe kala rangol wulindi kala rangol koto jube ka tujarol kono jube ni funding ke jero ka mutale.
The reason for that is all the young men who were not arrested has decided to leave the village because they went round the whole village, compound to compound, and in every compound, house to house. And sometimes, in fact, they have to look under the beds looking for young men. Any young man they decided they see, you will be arrested. This is why nobody was left in the village. No young person was left in the village.
Go on, please.
Then?
After that,
bring ko tambita ay karinim feng sile hani yirwa feng ku kilim buka keno sate okono.
It took us more than 1 month and before we were able to do anything that happens to be part of development.
And
it was during our incarceration
inata ye o pumping machine o nyin wutu anin tanko anin solar panelol ye be samba.
That was the time when they came. They dismantled the pumping machine, the solar panels, and the tank were all removed and taken away.
Kolongo nyimfongo ya tu datu yelerine kabirim bota mile tu ntafongo le tata foji pour kata kolongo jube nga data yelering nga berota nga laka.
And the well was left open. It was me personally who went there to go and check the place. So when I saw that the place was open, the hole was still open, I decided to take a stone and cover the hole.
Aya tinnale fo kabiring nawek dunta nanne mol kumasta ka jio soto.
In fact, from that on, we were unable to get water until when Nawek came again into the village. So that was the time when people were able to get water in their compounds. Because that borehole that they left there, we have to give water according to ration. We have to ration people with water.
So manda 4:10.
From the morning, early morning, up to 10 o'clock. We have to lock the tap.
10, 11, 12 nga yele.
10, 11, 12, we open it again.
12 nga sorong.
And we close it again at 12 o'clock.
For 3.
Till 3 o'clock.
Nga yele kotenke.
We open it again.
For 5.
Up to 5.
Nga sorong.
We close it.
For Samu.
Till the following day.
Otatale for about 7-8 years. For kabirin nawek nata ye kolbe take over.
That went on for 7 to 8 years. It was after when Nawet came for this water expansion, that was the time when things were eased up.
Mr. Bayo, you were severely beaten.
Mr. Bayo, you take a multi alongo, ye tajire ya bagale.
Bagade.
Seriously.
What was the impact of this beating on you and the rest of the people that were in your group, since you were the ones that were most beaten by the paramilitary officers?
Muna kita kole akol de me yalongo wala lati kang ay men saboy bima ila mol me yalongo yini idonyol me muranyola tumala men etel kita modi me yalongo yetel tajire ya baga katambi wolde ay mun kole akol de sabuyima
nte hadisa inamo mandambalo kono.
Well, as for me, up to now, when the pain, when this pain comes back to me, sometimes I'll sit down for 2 days without doing anything because I used to feel it all over my body. Because the time they were beating me, I don't realize it much, but afterwards, I felt everything that they did to me.
Yeah.
It really affected me.
Mr. Darboe, your father was among that group that were severely beaten at the village and also at the PRU headquarters.
Mr. Darboe, ita kita multi me alongo ifa ma mu kita multi me alongo ya tajire ya sato nyin kono jela aning para lo korda baro fono.
How did this incident affect him?
Nyung ko nying ya batandi ata batandi nyadi le.
And also if you know the other elders that were also beaten and arrested.
Hanin kabi fanin ke ba do kotangol me alongo ye muta andu ye sindi dula kilin.
Yes, he had difficulties. What he told me was that he developed backache from that. And that really seriously affected him. Because both of us were responsible for fish money and feeding in the compound. If I am not around, I used to send money to him. So when we were both taken away, it really caused a problem inside the compound about food. The This is how I became involved in this problem, because he called me to go and buy rice and bring it home because the rice at home was finished. So both of us were involved in this problem, which went on for nearly a month. It really caused a problem at home. This is why my aunt, my father's younger sister, she was the person who was taking care of the family to help them. She's called Makebe. She really helped the families very well. Well, the difficulty I had is that I was wounded on my leg, and when I performed ablution, the water went into the wound. So after performing ablution, the water that used to go into the wound later on swelled up, and I had no medicine which I can apply to the wound. So I had a friend who also was a paramilitary officer. So one day he came to visit me when we were in detention. So he was the person I sent to my workplace to go and inform them that, well, I left my village on my way and I was arrested on the way as far as the incident happened in the village. So they said all villagers are involved. So this is how I was arrested. So I sent him to go to my workplace and give them that information.
Mr. Kamara, another
Then that was the time when he explained this thing to our HR human resource officer, Mr. Kamara. He is somebody who decided to consider that for me. Then I didn't get any problems out of that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Apart from the hardships that you faced individually, the rest of the community also equally faced similar hardships because their breadwinners were arrested and detained.
Amunta woto jamaa molu fanalu membe su wol fanali okole akilimole taki katu menu ka baluo si woluma ye wolle mutawonya bitun silam baluo buka bono wol buluka futandi dimbaya alumasu amunta wol fanali okole atakile.
Was that the case, Mr. Samba?
For le ketabam Mr. Samba?
Ha.
Yes.
Kantung mojama kantung paka futa fango.
Because Paka Futa himself,
kabira bota wo detention okono,
when he was released after the detention,
amankende afafat.
He didn't recover until he died.
Aliketa fanang wole ketal amankende afafat.
That's what happened to Aliketa too. He didn't recover until he died.
Sadibu Sedi hanisani ala njurtala asingol abukatama no bakefang.
Sadibu Sedi was also impaired because he cannot even walk nowadays.
How long was it after their release that these two individuals died, Pa Kafuta and Aliketa?
Aliketa ni Pa Kafuta. Yebula wato meng aning ilasaya tema ay wicheje leta.
Pa Kafuta da amantam bikari sabala. Aliketa fanang amantam bikari worola.
Pa Kafuta it was around 3 months, and Aliketa also it was about 6 months before they died.
And what would you attribute to the cause of their death?
Well, these people are rural dwellers.
Imam lopitan kulong.
They don't know anything about hospital.
Wala na imam medical certificate soto.
This is why they didn't have medical certificates.
Bari kabiri buta wo detention okono.
But from the day they were released from detention, they were only lying on their beds until they died.
Thank you very much, Mr. Samba.
Inumbarabake, Mr. Samba.
Thank you very much, Mr. Darboe.
Inumbarabake, Mr. Darboe.
And thank you very much, Mr. Bayo.
Mr. Bayo, ifanang inumbarabake.
Thank you for answering all of my questions.
Nimbara alienna nyininkaro lube jabi.
Mr. Chairman, that will be all from me for the witnesses.
Yeah.
I'll hand them over to you now.
Thank you very much, Council, and thank you, Mrs. Bayo, Darboe, and Samba.
Chairman go Al-Numbara Bake, Mr. Bayo, Mr. Darboe, Mr. Samba.
Numbara.
Thank you too.
For years, the people of Jambanjeli endured severe violations of your rights.
Sanji jama komando timol me alango be Jambanjeli la nyantol tinyata.
Through massive torture of innocent individuals.
Tajiriya jamal me alango wala kita molla je me alango man fenke imam ibulu mamma isim mamma.
Collective punishment of the entire community.
Sa teo jama mo jama kawol be kata ki kafunyo ma ke tajiriya ka kolya le kan.
Through denial or severe restriction of their access to water.
Kabala ila kula me ya longo ila nyanto la mpuruka jisena wasoro kabala ila wala.
Innocent individuals were unlawfully detained and incarcerated.
Molla modol me ya longo bulumamma simamma muta yesindidula kilindron.
And all these violations for absolutely nothing.
Ndo nyanta tinyal be me ya longo iketa imangda imalla hani dalila kan.
This is not good at all for the country. Commissioners, if you have any questions, please indicate. Commissioner Kinte, you have the floor, please.
Commissioner Kinte, by Ninkala. I extend greetings to all of you and hail all of you. Thank you. I'm sorry for the hardships you encountered because of you need clean water. You were narrating how you were arrested.
Muta follow alko ye muta ye Bayo nyinenka ko asisiamo tanane tele.
Well, according to Bayo, he said the first arrest were more than 40 people.
Ablay fanandunko asamo birina ataka mayate fananin dolle muta nyola.
And Abdoulie also said the following day when he was arrested along with some other people.
Lamin Darboe woko yate fananin menu muta moto fale mo tansaba.
And Lamin also said he was arrested along with people who filled the truck, about 30 people. It's very important for us to add all of these together so that we will know how many people exactly were arrested. That's my question.
Okay.
Your question is very important. As for me,
exactly 26 people.
I know that exactly I was arrested along with 26 people.
Rough estimates.
So the others, they just give a rough estimate.
But what
I can remember, if I recall properly,
court I more 81 sile.
The people who went to court will be around 81 people.
And the released I more 7 to 8 sile.
And the ones released were about 7 to 8 people.
O tanse nin killing walal tata court.
So the 81 people were the people who were taken to court.
Woro wulo ye walal bula janibita court.
7 were released before going to court.
Oto mo sapo mo tanse nin say wasilo ye wala muta jambanjeli.
So one can say that 88 people were arrested from Jambanjeli on that occasion.
Hani bi kontido be jere mommen kafuna.
There is still more which we didn't add up.
Bire kidol fay silandir kidol fay bankota keso sarta.
When the guns were fired and the bullets ricocheted and wounded some people who were taken to the hospital, how many people? Those people are 4.
Then
the count will be now 92 people.
Mosapo victim will be in Kokono, many ale mantorol sota na muluntanyo chisifalu jambanjele kono atata fomo tankonondo mofula.
When one can say that the whole amount of people who were involved in this, who suffered, were about 92 people from Jambanjeli. Yes. When you were being released, were you released along with the minors amongst you?
Kabiri be mbulala itata welcome Joshua inata yembe bula truck killing kona nsaita.
Yes, when we were being released, they went to the Joshua prison and they brought along these minors. We were all put on the same truck and we were taken home.
O dinne fanambe nyin konto kono le yemen dinna jante fo be kontri fayel.
The children, the minors are among the 81 people. It looks like 5 minors were arrested and were released. And 4 sustained wounds after the shots were fired. Yes. That's the whole count among the youth. Yes.
Ebalu mo saba wolu makuyata imantambi kari worola metal baluring amantambi kari worola be fada.
About 3 elderly people.
Mofula.
About 2 elderly people.
Pakafuta aning aliketa.
2 elderly people, Pakafuta and Aliketa, they died.
But onata at least some years kele janna be for
sanji dan tankele.
Yes,
and Pakafuta and Keta or Mountain Bekari Warole ifulo be band.
Pakafuta and Aliketa, it was around 6 months when they died.
Abarka baga ali haketu.
Thank you very much, and I'm sorry.
Baraka baga.
Yang kay numbara. Komisana odiko wala bine nyini karo kela.
Thank you, Chairman.
Kay numbara kiaman.
Mr. Samba,
Mr. Samba,
Mr. Darboe,
Mr. Darboe,
and Mr. Bayo.
And Mr. Bayo.
Those who came to remove the borehole. What was the reason for them to remove it?
Kabiri nata meeting oto.
What they said when they came to the meeting was that there were others who were in need of a borehole. This is why we told them that as far as there was an old borehole which we were using, leave that old borehole for us here. Then the new one that you installed, dismantle that and take it away. This is what created the problem.
We're absolutely sorry. It's because of water, which is very important. The livelihood of every human being. That you had to be denied that commodity.
Absolutely sorry for what had happened to the whole village.
Bavulale masa menketa la surtu sare obe.
Baraka ba.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Imam Jallo, you have the floor, please.
Witnesses, this question is for any one of you.
Ñing sedo commission Imam Jallo wala laftal ñini kala ko ñing sedo ñini karo ñing aya kono fanule al do sa jabinole.
Can you tell the commission what happened to the borehole that was supposed to be removed? Was it removed or not?
Wal sa fono ñe ko boholo ñi lafta ka mem bondi no fo inata na bondi la man fo ma bondi.
Ya bondi le.
It was removed.
Kabire arrest fa parete ya bondi le.
After our arrest, they came back and dismantled it and took it away.
And saya mantaraji.
Up to now, it has not been returned.
Thank you very much. Alamusol meltata sifo famto en njame ya jame benta dame toje. Ye forcé dum bankata do ko wala sifo famto bam fo wol lafital non ka ya jame je and inata sifo famina nyoje wolato kala mantoro fay.
The villagers, your female villagers who went to meet Yaya Jammeh at the C4 farm, were they forced to go there or to go and work on his farm, or they just went there to appeal to him?
Musolu ko mulle ya foyo ko nalmanda Yaya Jammeh ay talike mal bulala alna Yaya Jammeh bina C4 farm altaje ali adane.
They said some people came to them and told them that Yaya Jammeh is coming to the C4 farm. You people should form a delegation and go there and appeal to him for your people to be released. This is why they went there.
So imafa lieka fu ye force le ta dokola ala famiento natra oketa woda wobekela igabene collective punishment.
Amunta imeng afoye ke samba ila ala kunkoto pour kate do kundije katuni oketa nu wolem ka jama be ka funyoma ke kulu dimindingula mo jama kan.
No, emo for etata danirol.
No, they went there to plead with him.
Thank you very much. If you have any concluding remarks to make, please proceed to do so. We start with you, Mr. Abdoulie Samba.
Awala baraka bake al nimbara bitung al fanalu bala kumo kumfala kuma kanglu menu la al lafta menu banke la jang abafulo la Mr. Samba la bitung al fanal si femfo.
Ala baraka bake.
Thank you very much.
Be nying TRRC tentula.
My thanks to the TRRC.
Kandu nyemu kuleti mingi ya lonko purukan sambana jangan na satela kole akul sata.
Something like this to bring us here and narrate the ordeal the whole village went through.
Woketa nye kuleti mingi ya lonko amonta ko dunole botankam.
It looks like that a big load has been taken off our heads.
Kantunte kabirim fundinki ya watu.
Because me, since I was a young man,
satela problem wonka dunu bakele.
I always take a big stance in the village's problem, in the problems of the village.
Satela yirwa kujama.
I was involved in many development projects of the village. This is why I was involved in this incident. This is why I want to thank and hail you. You have decided to remove the bad image of our village.
Against TRRC.
But I have one thing against the TRRC.
Never again.
What you are saying, never again. I don't know whether the way you think about it or see about it and the way I see about or think about it, whether they are the same.
South Africa.
Because something like this happened in South Africa.
TRRC reconciled.
And a truth commission was formed there and reconciled.
Aketa Rwanda.
It happened in Rwanda.
Aketa Burundi.
It happened in Burundi.
Aketa Sierra Leone.
It happened in Sierra Leone.
Aketa Liberia.
It happened in Liberia.
Aketa Gambia.
It happened in the Gambia now.
Ntenga mira reconciliation o alnyanta mira do sotola ale punishment laje pour modul kana mira pour kake.
I think the punishment should be meted out to the people who were found wanting, so that it will be an example for others to not to do it again.
At the end of the day, reconciliation will be.
And as it goes on like this, at the end of everything, they said, let's reconcile. Later on, people will just say, let's do whatever we want to do, because at the end of the day, we are going to reconcile. Please, I'm sorry if I have offended anybody. And I want to extend my sincerest thanks to my villagers
and in the family.
And my family. Because throughout this problem, the whole village became seriously united. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Samba.
Mr. Samba.
Just to clarify that our mandate here under the act establishing the TRRC made it a principal objective of the TRRC to create this impartial record of human rights violations and abuses during the 22 years of the Jammeh rule.
Purunga kibaro kensung meya lonko wolem kibar tilindin senearingoti tarikoto meya lonko jaya jammela sanji muanim fula mararo tajireyal ning hadama ya nyanta tinyalu menu keta purunga be kensung ngabuntung.
In order to,
purunyin kamala,
among other things,
kujamale bakono bari wulukono,
to address impunity.
Purun menni ye kuruya luke ferosike kafoko kukana boje kute bolaje purun si kuntu onyato we bai.
So it's not just reconciliation and healing.
Para manke ko kafo kasai nyo kandoron ne mude kamulu njusolu nyabu amanda woto de.
And recommendations to prevent a repeat of some of these violations.
Ani ya marolo pur kafo ka nyo kanake.
But also, as I said, to address impunity.
Bari fana nyinda bijele puru kuye bo konyin kono melni tinyarol nin tajire yaluke kuye tamandi ila koluto.
Mr. Lamin Darboe, you have the floor. If you have closing remarks to make, please.
Lamin Darboe ni fanambe kuma fala be la kuma kacha kum fala menna.
Abarka Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman.
TRRC mol be kondon.
My greetings to the whole commission of the TRRC.
Allah doku kendo mi alba kambanko kam.
The good job you are doing for the country. This what you are doing, the job you are doing is something like you are teaching the people for tomorrow. We should try by all means and know what lies behind never again. That just like the abuses that took place in the past will never reoccur again in this country. And let's try and forgive one another. Because if we didn't forgive one another, there will be no end of fighting. If somebody does something wrong to you, if you cannot forgive, you take revenge on the person. Let's try and forgive one another and now face our country for development. Let's forget about all the advantages and the wrongs that took place and develop our country. My greetings to everybody. Thank you very much.
The burden that was placed on the people of Jambanjeli was not yours alone. Jambanjeli citizens are citizens of the Gambia. It was a burden for all Gambians. And we share your burden. Saikou Bayo, you have the floor.
Sign Mr. Bayo Saikou bitung ifaransi la kumakangulu fo.
Assalamu alaikum TRRC.
Greetings to the whole membership of the TRRC. I extend my sincerest greetings to all of you. The good job you are doing. I used to listen to the TRRC even before I came here today. If you don't close from the work, I don't put my TV off. What happened here? I did not mean for you people, the TRRC. No, people will not know what has really happened. People came to know what happened is because of the TRRC, it's because of you. The job you are doing, you people, you yourselves don't know the extent of it. We, the listeners who listen to you outside, we know the extent of the job you are doing.
Because so many years.
Because this thing happened at Jambanjeli so many years ago. If you tell somebody or some people about our ordeal, they will just take it as a story. If some people see Saikou Bayo at TRRC, they will be surprised. Because myself, I didn't think that I will come to the TRRC. We thought that people were going to be sent and take our statements and bring those statements to the TRRC. It is because of our village. This is why we encountered so much trouble. It's not our personal problems. It is something that happened to the whole village. Whatever happened there, it is because of the village. Because we hoped on our young people, our hopes were on our young people, likewise the country. And if you want to eliminate those young people, who are coming next? This is what was happening in this country. Anybody who wants to grow horns, they will break it out. Whoever wants to become right activists, they will break you. They didn't want anybody to tell the truth. And if you don't tell the truth, you are going to tell lies. And lies will never take us forward, no development. This is why I have a huge respect for TRRC. Because some things were revealed here. Had it not been for the TRRC, nobody will have known those things. Those things will remain in darkness. There was a time when you tell people here that people are being killed, they will ask you, have you witnessed it? And now it is clear that people were killed in this country. And before, people didn't believe that. People said that's not true, it didn't happen. But why? People came to know about what happened here is because of the TRRC. What happened to us? If we didn't come to the TRRC here, people will not know. We were beaten to the extent that we ourselves knew really they have dealt with us. Gambia, we should accept one thing. Let's have a good mind for one another. Don't say that I am more powerful than so and so. I will do whatever I want to him.
Allah is there for everybody.
Well, Allah is there for everybody. You can use power on me today. In the next world, I will revenge, and you cannot do anything about it.
We must pass Judgment Day.
And Judgment Day is must pass. Whatever you do in this world,
Judgment Day, penalty.
You will face the penalty on Judgment Day. I've never been to mile 2 since when I was born. When I arrived at mile 2, I called the names of Allah, saying that on the whole, Human beings were incarcerated in this place like this. And the majority of people at Mile 2 were incarcerated on advantages.
Because something people
Because among the 80-something people who were locked there, our group, nobody is guilty amongst us.
It will detain 27 days.
You go and detain a group like that for 27 days. We could have died. Anything could have happened to us. The food that they give it to us, if you throw it on this wall, it will remain there. And they want us to eat that kind of food.
That is very dangerous.
Very dangerous for us. Let's forgive one another. Let's not use power on each other. That's what I have to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed, all three of you, for your concluding remarks. To endure the violations that you have endured, for just a reason to get your livelihood, water, as Bishop had mentioned.
Dalilo meyo sabu ali lafta ali la balurang la hadama dung la balurang mantam bi jiola ko bishop ya fo nyamin
kaw jiota drong ye balwala ye jiota kasel jiomotala, and that way futandi Mile 2 wote kutide.
Just like the water that you use to drink to live and the water you use to perform ablution just to get that water, that's what took you to Mile 2. That's very wrong.
So thank you very much indeed, for your testimonies and for your concluding remarks and for coming to testify before the commission.
Allah barka bake, Allah kumakangulu menu, Ali kalimulu menu fajanka, Allah kumulu kumfa, Allah barka bake, Ali sonta purkana, Allah sedearo ke TRRC jang, Allah barka bake, Ali olula kendulu menuta.
Council, are we ready with the next witness at 3 o'clock?
Mr. Chairman, that will be all for today.
That's all for
yes.
Well, thank you very much indeed. We will resume our proceedings tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning. Thank you all very much. La barka kendeke.
Baraka.
Meeting is adjourned.
Namon nalen, dano gaje gise lol. Namon nalen, dano gaje gise lol. Mbam du chade, domi mbam du chade. Ndawa kamumi, ndai fugitul toy.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Defuñ nak lu dul rek demal lañ ba Austria. Jëndal lañ jesna fam gëna piré. Jesna bi gëna ndaanaale ci jesna yi. Ñu naan ko Magnum XL ak Magnum Air. In fact Magnum Air sax dafa gënangut. Dafa gënangut waaye da ngeen ko dégg ci kanam tuuti rek. Mom la lañ indil waa Gambie xam ngeen ne yabuma leen xeebuma leen te duma leen photo man yeen lay bëggee xangañ loolu lañ nam nak ma indil lañ mu ngi nii loolu lañ nam ci jes na rek xol boo lañ nama ak design boo lañ nama rek exi na manaan lañ nag exi lañ mu ngi nii skincare plus laati de xam ngeen ne rek suñ plus yi comes in so many different ways our musical ma tuuti xangañ waaw man seen bëggee la ma gaañe axankañ waaw waaw Skincare Plus of the Gambia niñ leen ko taamoo di defalee rek mun ngeen ñoo jot ci number yi bu dee Gambia fii la call lañu si 3699137 bu dee yaa nga United States nag call ñu si 347-731-0071 te naan lañ nag suñ contract bi DHL mu nga fam ne woon ba léegi foo nekk ci àddina rek boo ñu ne ring ñu jaay la paagal la ba pare yónnee la ko ci ak ni mu gën a yombee xam nga rek fañ ne woon fala ba léegi number si naka la 347-731-0071 mooy United States suñ number bi fii locally fii ci Gambia fii mooy 3699137 te naan la nga number yëpp a ngi WhatsApp boo ñuy